Welcome to the Awkward Zoo. I'm Randy, and we're going to be talking about Disney's Lorcana trading card game. And more specifically, today we're going to be focusing on the lore, or the lore so far. And what better place to start than the official website? But first, let's talk about Disney. Disney is a company that's known for its storytelling, no matter what the medium is whether it's movies and TV shows, which is a given, but also to the theme parks. The immersion in the theme parks and the rides also are driving you through this story, as well as games and all these things, very story driven. And so the trading card game will be no different. There's going to be some underlying story, and that's how we're going to kind of peer into that. What is this game telling us, and how that's going to affect gameplay, which we don't know yet, which will be released soon because they said they were going to start revealing that in the spring, and lo and behold, it is springtime. We know we're going to be seeing that soon. And this game is going to be brought to us by Ravensburger. If you don't know them, they're a board game company, as well as they make puzzles as well. And you may have seen one of their games, Disney's Villainous, and the Villainous line that they've done, why I say, an excellent job doing that. Great, but talking about Lorcana. So here is the story of Lorcana. A swirl of colorful starlight appears, growing brighter and brighter until it is all you can see. When the burst of the light subsides, you find yourself in a wondrous new place. Welcome to the Great Illuminary, the center of the magical realm called Lorcana. The Luminary summoned you here because of your powerful imagination. You followed a pursuing line of light through curving hallways and numerous rooms to emerge into a vast atrium. A mechanism there towers over an open book. Sparkling down from above is a stream of colorful story stars, each containing fragments of a story. Nearby, a unique tool catches your eye. It's an ink caster, and when you pick it up, it feels both exciting and familiar. Instinctively, you hold it high above the book. Magical ink pulsing with energy flows through the mechanism and combines with the light from the story star on the page of the lore book in front of you, creating an image of Disney character. With the power of your inkcaster, the image rises off the page. This is a glimmer, a new version of the character that only exists in this world. As an Illuminaire, you can create glimmers of characters and items to add to the lore of Lorcana, a treasure that must be preserved and protected at all costs. Soon, other Illuminaires across the globe will be called to the aid of Lorcana. You'll summon glimmers to the quest with you as you search for missing lore in a race against time. Only together can you protect its wondrous world from threats. Will you answer the call? So, what we can get from this is we have been summoned to this world, this universe called Lorcana. And more specifically, we've been summoned, wrong hand, here, the Great Illuminary, which is at the center of this universe, and we were called because of our powerful imagination, and we are here to protect the lore of Lorcana while also trying to find pieces of it, because it seems like things have scattered, and this awfully feels like if you ever heard of the app, Disney's Mirrorverse, there's this pretty similar story here. And the Mirrorverse is these two stars colliding. The story of Mirrorverse is two stars colliding, and they create this universe There's mirrors, and these two powerful mirrors, one light, one dark, are created. And what happens is dark mirror is shattered, and that's where you get your enemies from. And you're trying to protect the light. Have these guardians, in which case here we have glimmers. There's a lot of similarities here. So I'm presuming we are protecting the lore, and we're trying to find the lore, or is finding the lore and protecting it is our objective. Gameplay. This is not a contest of who is the greatest illuminary and like duking it out. Whose imagination reigns supreme. Or more so of who's the greatest illuminary, not like duels or fighting, but who can go out and protect its lore, and gather as much of these stories as can, and kind of further. Look at that. Wrong hand again. Keep forgetting this. Look at that. It looks like it's straight from Kingdom Hearts. But you know, still has that allure and magic and kind of magic. So yeah, and there's been an article released by, if I can get that up here. An article released by the gamer. It was written by Eric Switzer. I'm pronouncing that right. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong. And he goes kind of more into this storytelling. And I'll have the link to the article down below. And he kind of points out the same thing. I mean, Disney is a company of stories, and he kind of dives deeper into the lore, and he actually gets answers from the lead narrative, Samantha McFerrin, and what they talk about is more specifically kind of the story of Lorcana, and not much was revealed, obviously, because they're keeping things kind of hush hush. But what we do figure out is that the overarching arc of the first release we have the first set, and that kind of story goes into 4 sets. So we have the first set all the way through the 4th one, which will be kind of like one kind of story arc, I believe, how they put it. So that will be interesting. And then they also kind of dive deeper into these traits or keywords that are found on the cards, which are Storyborn, Dreamborn, and Floodborn. And Storyborn are the Disney characters straight from the story, or items straight from the story is of Disney. And the Dreamborn are characters that are kind of reimagined by the Illuminaire here. And then Floodborn are unknown. We don't know where they come from yet. That has yet to be revealed. But kind of going along with the Mirrorverse kind of thinking here, because of the similarities. And in the article, it also kind of conjured pictures that the Floodborn are born from a flood of ink. which makes sense because these glimmers are coming from the ink mechanism that we see. The mechanism that we see here, and so, oh yeah, I agreed. Yeah, I think that the Floodborn has to deal with like a flood of ink, and just like in the Mirrorverse, you have mirrors. The fractured are coming from a broken dark mirror. And Bloodborne is going to be derived from the ink. Something goes wrong, and this is what we're kind of protecting from. What endangers the Lorcana, and why the Lorcana has scattered, or like pieces of the Lorcana has scattered. It's the threat with these Floodborn. Yeah, and then also interesting note in the article that talks about the Floodborn, even though we have no clue what the origin is, you can kind of conjecture and think about, is that shift keyword is found on Floodborn. Floodborn characters that we know of that have been revealed are Stitch, Rockstar, and Hades from the gift box. Hades, the King of Olympus, are Floodborns. Both have the shift keyword trait, call that. And what that trait does, or what that does, is you pay a cost and you're able to play on top of another character of that name. And so with Stitch the Rockstar, you pay, I believe, 4 costs from memory, and you can place it on top of another Stitch. Hades, I believe, is a 6 cost, and you can play it on top of another Hades. But yeah, so far that is kind of the story of lore, and kind of little bit of insight on what gameplay might be, and how it contributes. But yeah, that's it for this video. Let me know what you think, and hope to see y'all next time. Bye.